Entrepreneur MBA podcast purpose is to help existing business owners grow their companies past the 10 million in revenue per year benchmark. Here is your host, Stephen Halasnik.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Stephen Halasnik, and I'm co-founder of Financing Solutions. Financing Solutions provides easy-to-set-up lines of credit for small businesses, and I will be your host for today's Entrepreneur MBA podcast. If you're interested in learning more about a line of credit for your business, please visit us at fscreditline.com. That's FS as in Financing Solutions, creditline.com. Over the last 25 years, I have personally built 6 companies in the $5 million to $25 million range, including 2 companies that have made the Inc. 500 fastest growing companies in the United States. I love learning from people with business experience. And today I am excited to be speaking with Bart Jenezon from Inspiring. Bart is a chief inspiration officer and founder of the Inspiring Company, the company that supports people on their entrepreneurial journey by providing them with a simple format and clear logic to do what they have to do to start, build, and grow a business. Whether you are a self-employed professional or a small business owner, Inspiring is invaluable for everyone who aspires to succeed in business and life. He has been an entrepreneur for 20 years now without losing enthusiasm. With Inspiring, building an international network to help you as an entrepreneur, making more money and having more fun. Inspiration is the thread of the work that Bart does. Bart, welcome to today's Entrepreneur MBA podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Stephen. Really great to have you. Thank you so much.
So today's topic is how to make your small business inspiring. I think many business owners would think that is either obvious or it is why is that important? And so let's talk about why it's important first to have a business that is inspiring. Well, in fact, let's define what that means, inspiring.
Thank you so much for questioning, Steve. And I think you do know what it takes. So, yeah, really great to discuss this topic. It's actually my mantra. So, make small business inspiring. It took me 20 years to find my way. I was so super excited about all kinds of opportunities. There were multiple trains passing by I would like to jump on, and always curious to learn more, get to know more people. But yeah, why are we here? Why are we doing what we are doing? So actually, I find a way to somehow, streamline the whole process from ideation up to, building a profitable company. So I'm supporting entrepreneurs from all kinds of sizes, but mostly focusing on small business owners who are somehow struggling to level up or somehow trying to find their way or their breakthrough. And yeah, they are looking for some inspiration. And here we are, Stevie.
Yeah, I mentioned I saw in one of your bios that I didn't read that there today, but Simon Sinek, I guess, has been an inspiration for you. Simon Sinek wrote a. I know Simon. I've met him. I don't want to say we were best friends, but it, he wrote a book called Start with Why, and it is a fantastic book. It's the concept is very, very simple, but I think starting with an inspiration of your company, you have to help your employees and your customers understand their why, or your company's why. Is that the foundation of at least starting off there for inspiration?
Yes, what we say, and I always quote Simon from the book: "People don't buy what you do, but why you do it." Eh? And so it's super important that you do know, why are you doing this? Why are you running the business the way you are running the business? And it also helps, to attract team members, your employees, or partners, or even your customers, to get a clear understanding. Okay, why are we all doing this? So I think it's kind of starting point. But yeah, if the first question to an entrepreneur is, okay, why are you doing this? It could be also a little bit overwhelming or a little bit complicated. So sometimes, maybe simplify it a bit and just try to define a kind of starting point. Why did you start with this business? Or why are you coming up with this solution? What is holding you back? Or what is it what you would like to achieve? It's more like an opening, a starting point. But I'm very super excited about Simon's work. And within our framework and within our interface, we have created a kind of the golden circles that they have a place within our work. But we also follow the value proposition design canvas from Alexander Oysterwalder, and most of all, we follow Steve Blank with customer development, because I think customers are the most important value of your company, and they actually validate what you are working on.
Yeah, I think having a mission, having work, and having communicated it properly to your employees and your customer. Let's start off with your employees, because I think that's really it. Really all starts right, and that is it has a multiplier effect. We all know that people go to work because they get paid, right? And if you build a company where that's the only purpose, that people come to work because they get paid, I think you're missing out on a huge multiplier effect, because people don't want to just go to work to get paid. They want to be inspired. So, helping your employees first, understanding the same passion that you have, and then your customers next, has this multiplier effect in that it really brings out the productivity in people. It's not something you would agree with.
Yes, definitely. And I always say that, the entrepreneurial path or the relationship with your partners or employees, it has to be something like a love story. I always quote Shakespeare, love and be loved in return. And that's, a little bit the same with inspiration. Inspire and be inspired in return.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you an example too. Like, I had this one company, and what we did is we placed registered nurses on long-term temporary assignments throughout the United States at hospitals. These are registered nurses, again, at a hospitals, and they would go for at least 13 weeks to a different state, work, and then they would go to another location. And so we worked on this project, me and my management team, and I said to them, you have to understand what it is that we do for these nurses. We are giving them these incredibly rewarding travel experiences, and and that is something that they'll never forget. And what was interesting was when I reframed our mission in an essence, how that really energized the whole company. And so I think sometimes as an owner, you have the passion, but you need to be able to reframe it so that your employees and customers have the passion as well.
Yeah, I think you need to reframe it, but also you need to somehow use the right words. And what I see, especially from early stage entrepreneurs, if that they do have the passion, that they do have the energy, but they are somehow not able to communicate it or to pay it forward. So sometimes you need to reframe it or rephrase it so that it's more understandable, or that people say, okay, now I got the picture. And sometimes it's just a synonym or a different tone of voice, or it could be a kind of endorsement. But most of all, that if the message is clear, that what is it actually what we are striving for, what is the purpose, why are we doing this, and if we can somehow summarize it short and simple, that will actually help to pay it forward, and that will help also to attract more people to it.
So, give me some suggestions that you have to business owners whenever you're doing a lecture or a speaking engagement, whenever you're writing something, whenever give me some examples or suggestions that you have to business owners about creating a company that is inspiring.
A couple of examples, but first, more like, okay, what are or could be possible inspiring tips to move on? Is that like I said, a lot of entrepreneurs make it super complicated. They are abacadabra doing kind of stuff, and they would like to use taggy and savvy words for it. But try to simplify and try to to communicate it in a way that it's already solving my problems, that you can actually help somebody else. So that's in my opinion, the holy grail. And so that's really our mantra. So to make it super simple, and also with you mentioned Simon Sinek, but also you probably know Eric Ries and Steve Blank, and like I've got the book from Steve Blank here, and the book is almost 600 pages.
Hmm.
There are almost 60, 70 worksheets, and a lot of young people get completely lost. They don't read books. They don't have time for that. They are so super busy with Snapchat and TikTok and that kind of stuff. So somehow we need to figure out, okay, how are we able to bring that message? How are we able to put the finger on what is actually counting? So simplify the whole process. That's the most important lesson. That's the most important example. How to pay it forward. And there are multiple examples of companies with a clear mission statement or a motto that people feel attracted to it. And I think that's what you need to write down as a young entrepreneur or a small business owner. That people can identify with you and your company.
So do you typically have clients that will come to you and say, uh, I believe in what you're saying. Coach me as to how I can make my company more inspiring.
Yeah, most of the reasons why people are joining our support programs, we have all kinds of programs for that, is that people are, like I said, somehow in between that they see, okay, we need to change. If we don't change, then we will, get the same results over and over again. So they are very open-minded, and they are very committed to change. And I think that's also important, because there are a lot of people outside who would like to keep it exactly the way as it is, but then the outcome will also be exactly the way as it is. So when they join us, it's not that the main question is, of course, that we would like to be inspiring. It's super great if people get back to us with that question. And sometimes when they are joining events, if you ask them, okay, what was the outcome, what was the effect of the day, then the answer is, oh, it's inspiring. But most of the time they would like to see, okay, how are we able to attract more paying customers to our company without huge investments. And if you take a look at growth hacking agencies or consulting firms, a lot of people are sending all kinds of invoices and would like to charge for their services, and they somehow promise the highest mountain. And and we would like also to simplify that and say, okay, let's start from scratch on, and go step by step, day by day, and see if it if we are able to manage the process and the transformation process. So I'm not sure if that's completely answering the question, but that's what I
So
would like
so
to say.
you mentioned that your company has certain programs that is designed to help entrepreneurs. Name some of them.
The entrepreneurs who are joining.
Yes.
Yeah, now we have today. I had a session with the founder of Startup Fountain. It's a platform, a marketplace for venture capital, and startups and scale ups are able to register on that platform. Uh, we have Label Fashion. It's a new upcoming brand for the fashion industry, where entrepreneurs in the fashion industry can identify with fair trade. Especially in the fashion industry, there is a huge difference for pricing. I'm a very happy father of a young daughter, 15 years, almost 16 years old. Now you're wearing, I think, a hoodie. I also like hoodies, but hoodies are in a price range from $10 up to 180 here in my country, in the Netherlands. So why is one hoodie almost 200 euros or $200, and the other one is 10 or 20? And there is a huge difference in between. So Label Fashion is an example who's trying to bridge the gap and trying to offer fair trade, regenerative clothes production. And that's typically a company I'm really proud of to support, because I think purpose driven is important, and change for good. And that's all, yeah, including in that company. But yeah, more companies. We are just recently signed a new company. It's called Brain Care. Uh, we have a showcase. It's a green soap company. Is actually changing the soap industry, but all kinds of different companies as well. From a musician, I just finished a call with a guy from California who's a great artist and with a great story, with a great vision, but somehow with a lack of paying customers. And now there we think we can help to somehow change the value proposition a bit. That the vision and the purpose is still there, but somehow, yeah, try to improve the communication, try to improve maybe the channels you are using or the other communication lines, that kind of stories, that kind of examples.
So pick one of those companies that you mentioned. What or pick one of your more successful stories. Tell me about what you did for the company and how it resulted in and what was the outcome.
Yeah, most important to say is that, like I said, our motto is to keep it super simple. And we follow the line from Steve Blank. I already mentioned the book, 600 pages, 60, 70 worksheets. The main message is crystal clear. Paying customers are the best way to fund your company. Paying customers, satisfied customers are the best example of that you are on the right track. But somehow, as a growing entrepreneur or an early stage entrepreneur, yeah, we are struggling with the customer development process. So we would like to offer and simplify the process, transform the problem solution fit to a product market fit. So first redefine, okay, what is the original reason why you started all this? What is the pain point? What is the solution you would like to offer? And sometimes you tweak it a bit with small elements in the value proposition, or sometimes with small values or combinations. It's the original definition from innovation from Schumpeter. Neue Kombinationen. It's a German language. It's a German talk about, yeah, innovation, that you just sometimes tweak small parts of a larger proposition. So if you combine X and I with different opportunities, you create new business opportunities. So that's actually the thread of the work. Try to figure out, yeah, to change it a bit, or sometimes create packages or different services, but with instead of a year pricing, maybe a membership pricing, or something like that. That's typically what we are working on together with the entrepreneur. But the programs we are offering is also is a do-it-yourself kind of program. So people get tooling, people get all kinds of resources, so they are able to go through it step by step, based on uh, actual behavior from potential customers, from response from the team members, response from other stakeholders who are relevant to the business development process.
Do you, in most cases, you're working only with the business owner, or do you work with their management team as well?
Yeah, it's a little bit depending on. We are really targeting for small business owners, and small business owners up to 10 people. So there is a huge difference if you take a global perspective on small business definition. I think in the US there is a complete small business department. Since a couple of years, also in the Netherlands, there is a kind of governmental department, especially targeting for entrepreneurship. I think as we speak is our queen on a business trip to the United States, to Silicon Valley. Try to somehow be inspired by the spirit you have in your country. But we are moving forward here in the Netherlands, and especially the Netherlands is a kind of harbor for the whole startup ecosystem in whole Europe. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and back to your question, uh, we have two kinds of programs. One is more a kind of incubator program for one person companies who are very early stage. And the other program is more a pre accelerator for scale ups, startups with a lot of traction already, minimum viable products with 100K revenues, maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less. And somehow they would like to level up. And the scale ups are mostly joining as a team, and the incubators are mostly joining as a single founder.
And the type of training are they put into like a mastermind group, or are they put into are they going through a program where it's self taught? How does it work?
Yeah, it's very funny and also honest to share with you. I heard your introduction and I know your background, and you've been building and involved in several companies with all kinds of successful outcomes. Uh, my beginning of the journey was the toughest time of my life. So in the beginning, there was access to funding. A lot of people were clapping along. It was in the upcoming period of time of the internet. There was a huge, how do you say, gap in valuations. And it was more like a bullshit bingo than it was sustainable business development. So I've learned my lessons, and I've been through incubator programs. I've been involved in accelerator programs. I had multiple mentors, multiple coaches, multiple investors. So all kinds of support. And sometimes I summarize my work that it took me 20 years to get here, and I try to offer the same kind of journey of 20 years, all like a pressure cooker summarized in a 20-week program. And maybe a couple of years ago, I was focusing on, yeah, it's digital, or focusing on it's a live session. Now I try to offer it in a blended way. Every person is unique. Every person has a different approach. I try to offer the best of both worlds. So, like today, we are connecting from a complete different side of the world. I have participants now from all over the world, from Romania, Melbourne. I got recently a new participant from Toronto. My work is published by an American publisher from New York, originally from your place, from Nashville. It's Morgan James. And I'm very proud to collaborate with David. He's the founder of that company. So, yeah, the whole shebang, based on what is the actual needs. Sometimes I say, or I communicate, that I'm the chief inspiration. But to be honest with you, in the real life, I'm more like a personal assistant to my participants, and I try to guide them, to help them, to move on, to level up, to speed up, sometimes to slow down. And yeah, that's actually what I'm offering and what I'm doing. But now already with a team, we are 10 partners within the company. I'm the founder. I'm the largest shareholder, but now all the revenues were shared with all the people we who are referring. So if you are able to support me with your expertise, with your network, we share 50% of the revenues with the people who are involved. We have got more than 100 people now already signed up as a mentor, partner, and a coach. And that's the asset, that's the intellectual property what we bring in to all the participants in the network.
What if you notice the difference between U.S. companies and companies that are not in the U.S.? What do you notice?
Uh, First of all, and especially uh, in the Netherlands, there are 17 or 18 million people. And so there are, I think, now 1 million independent small business owners. But if you analyze it through the economic systems, it's a small, yeah, part of the economic system. And if you talk in the Netherlands, if you talk about let's say an advertising budget, then yeah, the amounts of money are so much higher in the US. So that's on all levels, and that's a big difference. But we are very I'm very grateful of my background, and I see also we have a huge entrepreneurial mindset, and we are very internationally oriented, and somehow sometimes I feel that I'm yeah, not the one, but I am somehow fulfilling my purpose to somehow bridge gaps also within lower economic standards to higher economic standards. I've got participants from Africa, I've got participants from India, from Asia, and very intellectual, very talented people with brilliant solutions for actual problems we are facing at the moment. I would like to help them, support them, and so try to support them to get access in other places on the world. I even got people from Russia who left the country. I've got people from Ukraine in my network. There's a huge thing going on here in Europe, and yeah. So I would like don't take a look on the backgrounds from people, but more on yeah, what is it what you like to offer? Why are you starting up with this business, and how are we able to help?
Yeah, I have traveled a lot in the United States and outside the United States. And it's interesting when you travel through Europe, because for those of you who haven't traveled extensively through Europe, uh, and I have not been to Amsterdam or to Belgium or that part of the world, uh, but when I've traveled, it's and I have a number of friends who own businesses throughout Europe. Um, it's interesting because, like, think of each state in the United States, and that's what it's like in Europe. Each country is its own state, and yet in each one of those states, although English is usually the common language, you usually see the business people speak three languages, and
Business
so
people, yeah, yeah, but
yeah.
the other people, they have more difficulty.
Yeah, it depends. I agree with you. It depends on what country you're going to. But uh, the what's interesting is each state has so much more of its own culture than in the United States. So, like, I'm in New Jersey, and if I go to, let's say, New York, what the culture isn't significantly different, right? Even if I go from New Jersey to Louisiana, it's, yeah, I mean, business is business, right? And it's still, but I found that the people that are dealing in Switzerland versus the people who are dealing, if you're in Switzerland dealing with someone from Spain, it's really not that far away, but yet the cultural differences is significant. Is that true or not?
Yeah, I think it's truth, and yeah, and especially what I can say from my perspective from the Netherlands. On the one hand, we are a very open country, and yeah, and on the other hand, we are also very lucky. We have a huge everything. Yeah, although now there is crisis and energy prices are sky high, but it's all over the place. So that's nothing. Has nothing to do with that aspect. But it's already with Belgium. That's the first place next from our when we cross the border. Yeah, the people in Belgium, it's really completely difficult. There is always a kind of tension between the two countries. I think it was a couple of 100 years ago. Belgium was the same country as the Netherlands. Uh, Now, then you travel one state further up to France, and a complete different language. In Belgium, they speak two of them, French speaking and Dutch speaking. In French, they only speak French. Nobody speaks English. Only the people maybe in Paris who are internationally oriented.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, people are much more into their inner circle. Uh, I personally appreciate people. I have a lot of contacts with people in Spain, and people are very friendly, very warm. So I like that. And one more detail, but also to bridge that gap, is if we go to the left from our country and we go to Germany. I think the German people are well communicated. Sometimes more clear than Dutch people. They are very to the point, and there was a long time always the issue about the Second World War, but that's really so long ago. The whole world was fucked up a couple of times. So I really do like the people from Germany if it's about business. Although it's hard and difficult to settle and create the relationships in the right way, but each country has his own manners, his own history, and it's super important, especially for me as a Dutch guy, a stupid Dutch guy, is I really need to learn to somehow try to be connective and change my mind into the perspective from my network or my relationship. And that was a hard lesson for me a long time, because I was always thinking that that we know everything, but every region, every country has its own background and rules, and but that's also makes us unique. So it's also an opportunity to connect and to find a reason why the same thing for us. Why are we connecting today? Why are we, sharing these kind of stories with the world? And that's really fascinating me for me. Yeah.
How have you found that? Have you found that you have to adjust your when you do work as a consultant or a coach, um, and you're trying to work on communication with your client or with how
Now,
much do you have to be concerned with cultural differences?
first of all, it's really important. So already today I had meetings with people from different countries. A young lady from India, it's completely different. I have a participant who lives in Canada, but is originally from Russia. I've got one person, he left Russia. So yeah, those backgrounds is complicated. So yeah, you need to handle that with care and attention in a way that with respect. Eh? So I'm if I say from just my personal opinion, if somebody is leaving his original home country because of this screw up situation, yeah, I can feel a lot of respect, but also I feel a lot of complexity. People are leaving maybe family members and friends behind. It's very complicated, it's very difficult. And so, yeah, we need to deal with that on the one hand, but maybe another tone of voice. The most important thing in communication, what we need to deal with, is that people are not always walking their talk. So they have a storyline, or they have a business plan or a slide deck or presentation, and if you ask to explain, then they gave us a complete different explanation than what's in the paper. So and that's actually, I think, 80% of our work is that we just see, hey, this is the story, this is your talk, but you're not walking the talk. Let's bring it together.
Yeah, let's circle back to the idea of your company, which is inspiring. Uh, if as a listener who's listening today and says, I really want to promote and build uh, that message more to my employees and to my customers, what's the first step in building that process of an inspiring company?
Yeah, what I do, but it's this is my sequence, my methodology, what we've been bringing all together, from referring to Simon Sinek's golden circles, the customer development from Steve, and the value proposition design, is that we're, first of all, we put the customer as a central focus point. So that's the whole process all about. But before we get there, and before we even talk to potential customers or existing customers, we try to figure out, in a short and simple way, is it clear? Do we understand what the entrepreneur is working on? And most of the cases, the entrepreneur is completely on a different level as the team, different level as most of the time the startups fail because the co-founders have already different point of views. There is a CTO, he's working on a technical abracadabra solution, and the CEO is completely walking a different path. So most of the reasons why startup fails is that they are not on the right track. So we bring them together. That's what we do. We bring the founders together. We bring management team together, shareholders, other stakeholders. That there is 100% understanding. It will not mean that you and I, that we are agreeing on everything. No, we accept that disagreement will bring us forward. Yeah, but we have an understanding, and from that point, we take it into further development.
Well, it's good stuff. It's kind of all the time we have today. I think it'd be really interesting if any of our listeners. I think it'd be really great to go look at your program and see what it is. If they want to take a look, where do they look?
Now, first of all, everybody's also welcome for an extra gift. I've got the ebook available if they like. Because of my partnership with Morgan James, we are able to give an ebook for free for your audience. But if people go to inspiring.com and inspiring.com is written with the number 1 at the beginning. So there is a funny story about that, but if there's more time, I can share it with you. But inspiring.com, there is free ebooks available. If people send me a personal note, I will give them the official copy of the book. If they say to me that they got to me by your program. So really great to share my story. I'm always willing to help. So if you know a friend or somebody from your audience who's really looking for your inspiration, welcome on board. I'm more than happy to spend an inspiration session with them without any obligations. And if people would like to join the program, we have a special offer that we only charge people if they are 100% satisfied and convenient with the outcome. So more than happy to explore and to invest a little bit of my time because you gave me this opportunity, Stephen.
Yeah. So just for our listeners, it's the way it's spelled is the number 1, NSPIRING.com. .com, correct?
Yes, .com.
Yes. Okay. So great. I really appreciate you coming on today, Bart. And I'd like to thank so very much Bart Jenezon from Inspiring for coming on today's podcast. If you like today's podcast, please feel free to share it with a friend and also subscribe on your favorite podcasting app. And please also give us a review, especially if it's a 5-star review. The Entrepreneur MBA podcast is in the top 5% of podcasts for entrepreneurship, and we're very proud of that. But it's those reviews that really drive that, so it would really help us, and we would appreciate it if you put a review in there. And if, of course, you're looking for a line of credit for your business, we only work in the United States, just so you know. But if you're looking for a line of credit for your business, I would highly recommend that you always have a business line of credit in place just in case. You can call us at 862-207-4118 or visit our website at fscreditline.com. Again, that's FS as in Financing Solutions Creditline.com. So I think what the takeaway was for today is you really have to understand what inspires your customers, what inspires your employees about your company. And if you don't have that, you're missing out on an incredible opportunity to really propel your company forward. And it's probably time to do some work on it. I know I've done some major work on it amongst the companies that I've had, and it doesn't take a week. It takes, a couple of months. And I really like the idea of Bart's program because I think it really facilitates probably really good questions that you could ask yourself, your employees, your customers, that helps you find that inspiring communication. So everybody, other than that, I always end by usually saying to everybody, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Make sure you're taking good care of yourself and that you're always learning too. So everybody have a fantastic day. It's good speaking with you today.
Likewise.